Good morning, everyone. This is Lance Swanson with South Sioux City Community School District. Today is Wednesday, April 13th, 2022. So today's a big day here. It's a Wednesday. We missed yesterday because I had a dentist appointment yesterday morning. So that's just kind of the way it is. I'd like to my goal is to get 3 mornings kind of out of the week and just touch base with you. Sometimes it could be more, depending on the week. Sometimes it could be less. This week's a little different because we have Friday off because of Good Friday. And then Monday is what we would typically call Easter Monday. There's no school. I'm scheduled to work, I believe, but we probably, I got a little bit different schedule and some things going on that day. I'm going to be here, so we may or may not have a show on a Monday, but probably won't have much for an audience that day. So Monday was a big day in that we announced kind of for the first group anyway, about the Safe to Help information. It's kind of a new hotline that's been announced in Nebraska. Mr. Schultz, who's the principal at Lewis and Clark Elementary School, and he's also kind of our safety person. Safety has under his umbrella of duties, and he does a good job with that. And he kind of announced to the middle school and high school staff and did a little presentation on this Safe to Help app. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and just kind of so I can show what it looks like here. Basically, this is just one of the slides from his presentation on Monday, and it was just showing a little bit about Safe to Help Nebraska is a report system designed for students, staff, and parents to anonymously report concerning behavior which could impact the safety of students or schools across Nebraska. So what they're able to do is they have a hotline set up at Boys Town in, I believe, in Omaha. And so it's a statewide system, and it's able to report out there. Basically, there's professional folks there to answer the phones 24/7, and just to kind of handle things. Maybe a student's being bullied, maybe a student's considering suicide, maybe they want to give a tip about a certain crime or whatever. Maybe they're having trouble at home with violence and that sort of stuff. Maybe there's some abuse going on and they want to with themselves, or maybe it's a friend, physical or mental friend situation. And there's therapists and professionals on call 24/7 right there in Omaha at Boys Town to help them. And then what they've done is they've trained then a few people in each district that's participating what to do if it goes to the next level. So for an example, it's an anonymous call, but at some point the professional may or may not, they might work out of them like, oh, what school do you go to or whatever, or where do you live, and those kinds of things. And they might not necessarily ask exactly where they live, but just like what town they're in, so they can mark down, oh, we got a call from South Sioux City and there's a concern with this student about X, Y, or Z. Or sometimes they've talked to them through the call long enough where they're saying, we'd really like to refer you to a counselor in your town or locally, or we would like to get you some help. Here's what we can offer you. And then a lot of times they can come to some kind of an agreement there or whatever. I'm not sure of all the details. But I do know it's anonymous as much as they want it to be. If the student does not want them to know at all, then it's up to them. They don't have to divulge that information. I do believe if they do something electronically, it might ask them what school they go to. But once again, they could, it's nobody's proofing it. So they could, I guess, make that up or not be honest about their answer there. But anyways, that part of it doesn't matter as much as that there's help available for our students on a statewide level, and that's a pretty big deal. And so on Monday, like I said, Principal Ben Schultz talked to the high school and middle school staffs about it and kind of rolled it out. And then on yesterday, I believe he did a Zoom call type approach with all the other locations and talked to their staffs with that. And so kind of rolled it out and make sure they're aware. I do believe most of that type of call is going to come in from probably, if it's going to be done independently by an elementary student, it's probably upper elementary. But I think we realize that most of the heavy duty calls in that area probably come in, from high school students or middle school students. So certainly that's more. But it's unfortunately, it does affect our elementary students way down to the lower grades, but they might not always be the one reporting it or whatever. So anyways, that's important information. I'm going to be sharing that out on social media and city newsletter and other media sources and other ways to get it out. And it's going to come home a flyer about it to more of a letter / flyer to parents and guardians. Will go out in the Thursday's folders tomorrow, I believe. And so it's important to know that's available. So yeah, so that's kind of what Safe to Help is about and why we're doing it. And so I want to just click over here to, oh yeah, there was a couple of articles out there. If you go to Safe to Help, safetohelpne.org, you will you can get there and download the app. The student can have the app, or the parent or the staff member, or whatever. You can have the app, and then there's some other articles and stuff. If you Google it out there, certainly some schools have already implemented it. We've been kind of using Let's Talk as an anonymous reporting system, or it does. That's what it is. It does work well for that. But that's been kind of on us to keep track of who's calling and try and track down or try and get help to those. And we certainly had several students utilize it that way. And I believe we've always accommodated them and got them the help or got them directed to who they needed to talk to or whatever. But it's certainly better to have this and have it a statewide approach. And certainly someone manning the calls 24/7 that's trained and professional, and then a systematic approach for if it rolls to the school level. Now, if a student does happen to get on our Let's Talk and they submit a report there of a bullying or threats, or they feel like they're suicidal or whatever the case may be, certainly that's still an option and it's not going to be lost. We still will man that and have it. It's just we're going to point all of our website and try and train our students and our staff to push towards this Safe to Help NE. So that's kind of where it is, and wants to know that if somebody would happen to get on Let's Talk, that's not going away, and we're still going to talk and push a lot, or talk about see something, say something, see it, say it. I think that's more of the tool. The tool is, it's just pointing at using one of the tools. I think we've always really pushed. We have a lot of caring adults in the school and the community. And the number one thing, just reach out to someone that they trust. Hopefully the students trust some adult that they can trust, whether that's at school or at home, or maybe in a community organization or something they're part of, and they can say something. And then if they can't get the help they need, or they feel like it's not being addressed, then using one of these tools is certainly important. But there's a lot of caring and caring people that know what to do. And so if a student does feel that way, they can reach out to them and get the help they need. And this just takes it to another level. And so very important to know. Today's Wednesday, and we don't typically have a lot of activities on a Wednesday if we can help it. And so as you can see on our calendar, tonight looks pretty wide open. Obviously, there's practices and different activities, and that can change throughout the day. So as far as right now, it looks like it's a normal Wednesday afternoon, evening. And then tomorrow, there was the track team was going to O'Neill, and that got moved to yesterday. And they had that in O'Neill, and they had about every type of weather you can imagine in a day there, although there wasn't anything severe in O'Neill. It mostly went east of even Sioux City, South Sioux City area, pretty much, although we got quite a bit of wind last night, but it wasn't anything that was too damaging, I don't believe. Tomorrow night is going to be a couple of soccer games, JV and varsity in Omaha at Miller West. And then Friday is Good Friday, and there's no school. And it doesn't look like much for activities, although Saturday is a typical Saturday this time of year. And hopefully the weather cooperates, because it looks like the boys soccer is going to be in a tournament at Omaha Benson, and baseball is headed to Ralston. So now the weather does look better for next week. And so when we start talking about activities next week, we're going to really be trying to cram things in to get things going with the weather. So, all right. I think that pretty much wraps up today's news. I think, like I said, we went over the calendar. We talked a little bit about the Safe to Help that's going to be coming out. That's going to be in the city newsletter. It's going to be rolled out across the community. And that's pretty much all we've got for news on this Wednesday morning. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.